In this video, we've got another one from Amazon. This is the DeeRC. This is the 9201E. It's a four-wheel drive short course truck. And, you know, Tina and I got online and we started looking around to see what people were buying, and Amazon's selling these things. And I wanted to know why. In this video, we're going to get this out of the box and see what you get for your money and see if people are just buying it for the cost. All right, let's get this thing out of the box. Oh, always. All right, so it does come with a manual and some battery precautions. A couple of bags, feels like a battery, and some extras here. Another little bag there, so that gives us a total of 3 of those. And it comes with a radio, so that's to be expected. Interesting. Have a look at this. You know, it really looks cool when you're looking at it online. And it looks pretty good. They did a good job on the body. It's got the tire on the back, and, you know, it's a real tire, so it's usable. The same as what else is on the car, and it's pretty good, but once you get underneath it, it looks a lot different underneath. So, as badly as I want to tear into the car, let's see what came with it first. All right, so now that I got everything out of the box and I did open the little bags to see what's in there, it does have a basic complement of stuff, and I will show you what that is. But being an Amazon purchase, this is more along the lines of what I thought I would wind up with. Now, the first RC we did, that was the Rolaro, and that was the X12S. That one surprised me. It was a pretty good RC. It looked like it had a very advanced build to it. It was fast, all that stuff. This one, on the other hand, if I have a toy here at the studio, my gut says it's going to be this one. So this RC right here, although it's cool looking and it really looked good on the box. I mean, on the website, this looks amazing. It's cool looking. I got to give you that. It's really cool looking. When it said 8+ for the age group on this, I had a feeling what I was in for. Still, at the same time, we're going to be fair about this and we're going to run it like we normally do. I do like the look of it. I mean, it's toy-like. I get that. It is. But it is... there's some style involved in the body. Anyway, before we get into the car, let's see what we got here. Now, in the manual, there's 2 different radios, and I believe this is the upgraded one. So it just has simple controls here. It's got your speed dial here, so you can adjust how fast it goes. And if you're dealing with 8-year-olds, that's probably a good idea. Then you got your steering trim, and that's your lot. That's what you get right there with the radio. Super light. It feels toy-like as well. I'm not expecting too much, but if it works, I'll be happy with that. Still, there is one little bonus here, and I don't know how long these are going to take to charge, but they did send 2 batteries. So that sounded wrong. They didn't send me anything. These came in the box. And the plugins are right here, so they have to snap into this car only. So these will only fit in this car as far as I know. They won't fit anything else I have. So that's interesting. But alongside that, they did send a charger for them. So you can get them charged up and everything right here. So you don't have to buy a charger, providing this one works. But as always, if you're using a USB charger, make sure you have a power supply that's got enough snort to power it properly so you don't burn this out by undervolting it. That can happen. And make sure that it's strong enough so that the power supply itself doesn't overheat during charging. That's really important. It does have just a basic toolkit. It's got a wheel wrench, it's got a brush for cleaning stuff up over there, and a tiny Phillips screwdriver, which should tell you something about the build on it. If they're not going to use hex wrenches, they're usually pretty toy-like, and it comes with a bar light. Now this I have to install by myself, but that's fine. Perhaps it's a shipping thing, but it'll attach right here to the top of the body to give it that Baja look. That's pretty slick. Now, alongside that, and I know I'm just kind of doing this from a one-angle perspective, but there's really not much there, and everything important I brought to the camera for you to see, but there's this. Now, this has a few important things in it. It does. It explains the radio, so if you're new to the hobby, it does explain the radio and all that stuff, and there's a flyer that they added to it for the new radio because the old one doesn't match. It's this one. So don't lose that. It will fly out if you're not paying attention. But it does have the part numbers, and alongside that, it does have an explode here that shows the basic build of the RC. Let me find it really quick here for you. Shouldn't take long. It's right in here. There it is. And here's the diagram for the RC. And it does show you exactly what it is that you're dealing with, so that should help you if you do have problems. I've never had to buy parts from DeeRC, so I don't know if parts are available. There's part numbers in here, so I assume that's correct. That would be something to look into. All right, I will say one thing about it. It is a cute little RC. It is. This is, like say, a genuine tire on the back. But once you get the body off, it's just cheap Lexan. There's not a lot of thickness to it or anything like that, and you do have to peel it. Don't forget to peel this. If you do get one of these, don't forget to peel it before you put the bar lights on. And I would recommend removing the tire first so you could get all of that off. With the body actually out of the way now, let's take a look at the RC itself. And what I'm seeing here is just a whole bunch of plastic. They've pretty much hidden all the main components. So there's really nothing to look at. Everything's covered. So there's no way to dig into it without actually taking that little screwdriver to it and taking it apart, which I am not a fan of on the unboxing stuff. We're going to run it the way it came out of the box, but it does have aluminum parts on the shock absorbers. It has real nice looking dog bones that go out to the wheels and stuff. Everything looks like it should. As far as toy stuff goes, I'm at a loss here. I really am. This wasn't overly expensive. I just hope it's fun. If you take a feel on these tires, there's nothing in there. They're just rubber casings. There's nothing. Usually you have a little foam or something. Nothing. But this doesn't weigh much, so that's not a big deal. In the battery box area here, you flip the switch, snap a battery in it, and you should be up and running just like that. Without anything else to look at, let's take this thing out and see what it's got. All right, so we're at another beautiful bashing location, and I love this area. I really do. I feel exceptionally fortunate to be able to have places like this to run. And some of you know where this is, and if you come out and run here, it's a beautiful location. Still, at the same time, this is the DeeRC, and this one's turn is up. We don't care whether it's expensive, whether it's cheap, whether it's designed for children, whether it's one of the high-end ones. We don't care, they all get tested. In this one, we're gonna put this through its paces. Let's see what it's got. You know, they don't all have to be fast to be fun. This one is controllable and it's kind of rugged in its own way. And I can see how this would be so much fun to have, especially if you're younger and just getting started. Very cool. All right, so there's the running footage for this little guy, and I gotta tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. I really was. This thing, even though it's more or less toy grade, and I understand the inside, so let's have a quick look at this. And I understand why they did this. Okay, so if this is for 8-year-olds and 9 and 10 and whatever, this limits where you can get your fingers in there. It does. It makes it really simple. There's an on button right here. The batteries fit in such a way that once you snap it in, it's all connected. There's nothing to do. So there's a little switch right there, and then this opens just like that. Okay, so it goes like this, and then the battery, and I have one right here. So the batteries here, they clip straight in. It's just a square deal. See where the little connector's at right there? It's built into the case here, so you can just snap it in. So once you get it snapped in, like so, that's all there is to it. There's no wiring to connect, there's nothing. And then of course you can just hook it back down and it's in there. That's pretty simple, straightforward. And they run quite a while. I was really surprised. At the same time, this is quicker than I thought it was gonna be, and it's actually pretty tough. But let's keep one thing in mind here. This isn't at all going to compete with most of what I have here in the studio. It's not, this is not one that's going to, if you already have some RCs, this one will not thrill you. But if you're new to the hobby or you're thinking of buying this as a gift, this could be very cool because it's super tough. It's a little fast for in the house, but when you take it outside, it handled rough terrain. It took all kinds of sudden stops, all that stuff. It ran a good time and it was a blast to play with for what it is. Don't get me wrong. I know what performance is, and this is definitely for its own size and all of that. This has got pretty good performance to it, but that's about as far as that goes. That being said, let's talk about the radio for a moment. Now this, even with the batteries in it, this is pretty light, but it worked well. I had no issues with the radio whatsoever. Left it set up the way it was. I did try to tune the steering a little bit, okay, with the plastic links and stuff. You get it pretty good, but it's hard to dial it completely in with something this simple. And I ran it on full blast the whole time. As far as this has the ability to turn that up and down, I didn't even worry about that. We just ran it at full blast the whole time. Now the thing is, at full blast, this handled surprisingly well. And when I first took off with it and I was having me some fun with it, I was shocked at how well it controls. On top of that, we did use their charger for the batteries and it worked perfectly. It did. There was no issues. It didn't take that long to charge them with this thing, but keep in mind we have it plugged into a genuine charger that puts out some serious current. So this had plenty of power to do the job. If you're going to use one of them small ones, a small wall wart that you can plug this into, make sure you test that once in a while and make sure it doesn't overheat, because they have a tendency to do that with these things. Now these lithium-ion batteries, they charge up pretty nicely, and this little plug, it can only go in one way, so it's almost foolproof. All that behind us, I gotta say, overall, I had me a really good time with this because I was able to put my mind in the right mindset for that, knowing that this wasn't going to compete with most of the stuff in the studio, and looking at it from a new person or a young person's perspective, this really was a lot of fun and I had a good time with it. So that being said, let's get on to our 4 questions. And if you watch the channel, you know what they are. Is it fun? Is it durable? Is it worth the money? And what's the total points here at the channel? And it almost feels silly to ask those questions of this one, being this is more toy grade than actual hobby grade. Now the thing is, it is hobby grade. There are part numbers in there and you're supposed to be able to get the parts for this. So technically it's hobby grade, but it's really not at the high end of, or even the mid grade of this. Pretty tough, pretty cool. One thing I want to mention before I get into the questions though is we did have to take the wheels and tires apart because these have bead locks. In other words, the back side of this has 5 little screws that hold the wheels all together. Okay, that's nice. I mean, it does hang on to it. This doesn't spin them fast enough for them to come off the wheels anyway, but at the same time, it does allow dirt to gather up in the casings here, so you could shake them. And they had quite a bit of dirt inside of them, and the only way that I could fix that was to disassemble the whole set. So I took the whole set apart, and here's an image of that. I took the whole set apart and I went through and cleaned them all. We cleaned the entire RC and it's all clean now it looks brand new again. And that was arduous, okay? And the reason I say that, really couldn't use water on it. This is splash proof, not waterproof, so you don't want to take it over to the hose. The only thing I used the hose on, once I got the tires out of the wheels themselves, I took the tires only outside and I washed those with the hose. Everything else was dry cleaned. In other words, I didn't use any liquids to clean it. I just got in there and cleaned it. Now that little brush that comes in it, that little black brush that comes in the packet, that did a great job of helping to get all the stuff out, so I'm really glad they included that one. So question number 1, is this fun? Yeah, it's fun. It is. If you're expecting performance, you're going to be disappointed because this isn't a performance RC. This will take bashing around in the yard all day and it'll run around in the driveway just fine, and you can play around on sidewalks, driveway approaches, all that kind of stuff, and it handles it. Just don't look for it to thrill you in the speed department. Still, at the same time, for what it is, if I was 8 years old and somebody got me one of these things, I'd be tickled pink to get it. That's pretty cool in the first place. So on this one, because of what it is, and we're going to rate this toward the children's end of things, so keep that in mind. We're not rating it against all of these because it doesn't compete with these. We're going to rate this on the child end of things. And as far as, is it fun to play with? I'm going to go with yes, it's fun to play with. And I'm going to give this 8 out of 10 for fun because it did everything I asked it to. It was controllable. It ran a good long time. And the speed was fast enough to where I had to really try and control it a little bit. All good things. 8 out of 10 for fun. And question number 2, is this thing durable? Yes, it's durable, but keep in mind, it really doesn't go fast enough to break it. We shot over some stuff, landed right on the corners, we bumped into things, we came to direct stops, and we never try to break these, but we let everything hang out to see what it'll do. And this thing actually broke nothing. It actually handled it really well, and I was really surprised. So in the toy category, which is where we're gonna hold this one, we're gonna give this one 10 out of 10 for durability because everything held up and it's still running like brand new. 10 out of 10 for durability. And question number 3, is this thing worth the money? Well, coming in at a solid $78.99 for everything you need, save AA batteries. And it only required 3 AA batteries, not all 4 like most radios do. So that was interesting. Still, at the same time, you get everything you need to play with this. Charger included, and this one came with 2 batteries. And of course, just to remind you, this isn't a sponsored deal. We just ordered this off Amazon, so this is what showed up. So if you ordered one, you should get exactly the same thing we did. So that's kind of a nice feature. 2 batteries, you got a charger, the radio worked okay, the car came in complete. All you had to do was put the lights on the top, which was literally 2 little hood clips, and plug it in. Really simple stuff. For the value though, what it does and what you get for it, I'm going to give this one 9 out of 10 for value, and I have had it for a while now, and I've had a chance to play with it, and I don't care whether it's a toy grade one, whether it's a hobby grade one. I put the same attention into each one when I get one. So we took this out, played with it a lot, and we had some, you only saw some of the footage, played with it a lot, and still at the same time, this thing is definitely worth the money. And question number 4, what's the total points here at the channel? Well, you know, in the toy class, which is what this one actually falls into for us here, we're gonna give this 27 out of 30, and that's a pretty high rating. I was really surprised when we first got the box open and I had my first look at it. I was like, oh no, what am I in for? Because you never know what you're gonna get if you don't get to go into the hobby store and have a look at it. When you order something online, you never know what's gonna come out of the box. And at first I was like, really? This is what we're gonna have? But once I got to play with it, this is actually a lot more exciting than I thought it would be. And I know my granddaughters would love to have this at the house. So total score, 27 out of 30. So there you go. That's the score for the DeeRC 9201E. And you know, I think it's fair. I do. I think it's fair. It's actually a surprising RC for what it is, and I understand why they're selling on Amazon. You know, sometimes you don't know how things are until you try it for yourself. Now, in all fairness, none of us got online to see what other people are saying about it. We don't like that idea. That's not something that we normally do. We want to test it for ourselves and get it out of the box, see what you get, and run it with nobody else's opinion to affect it. We go straight at it. Now, I know this channel is generally geared towards higher end stuff, but people are buying these and now we know why. They are a lot of fun. So if you haven't already, don't forget to bash that like button and help our content spread. You know, we can learn something every day. It's always cool when you discover something new. If you have anything you'd like to add to this video, please feel free to get down in the comments and help others along the way. For AJ Jam Studios, I'm AJ saying, keep bashing.